Hello, and welcome to Adoption Awareness Month! Yay! Hi friends, my name is Winter Hendrickson. I'm so excited to have you here on this special month with us. Welcome to our channel, by the way. I'm a mom of 4 amazing children, and this month we are celebrating Adoption Awareness Month. So every single video you get from me this month is going to be about adoption and just like bringing awareness to even some tougher issues surrounding adoption that you may have never thought about, just educating the world, you know, one person at a time, and hopefully shedding light on some things to make you want to adopt as well, and to love those children that need to be adopted better. Today's topic, guys, we're going to kick this off. We're going to get really real. We're just going to start off with a bang. We're going to be talking about accurate adoption language. Adoption language is super important to me just because it has affected me a lot in the past. I got this adoption language from a friend who I work with in South Dakota Kids Belong, which is a foster care recruiting whole organization that does that. So they're awesome. I love them so much. I love being a part of this organization. And they support people that want to adopt, and they like promote kids. But they sent this out and it really touched me, and I want to share it with you guys because from my experience I've had, language does matter. And I'm a pretty hard-skinned person, but sometimes when people say stuff to my children or to me, it just kind of hurts you a little bit. And especially in the adoption world, we need to really think about stuff the way we're saying it. And let me give you the first example of something that words aren't just words. Sometimes they can like really stir up feelings inside of us. So when I first did foster care and I got my sweet boys into foster care, Augustine and Nay, I had a friend who I wasn't super close with, but I told her that we just got a foster placement and I was so excited, and she just was like, oh, I thought you were gonna have your own children. And it was like kind of just a letdown for me, honestly, because I was so excited to take on this new journey, to help these boys out, to help this family out, and this person, they didn't see it. They didn't see how those words would affect me. Now that my kids are adopted, when people talk about me having my own children, I simply just say, I do have my own children. I have 4 beautiful children. I have, like these 4 beautiful children. Yes, they were adopted, but they are my own children. On their birth certificate, it says that I am their mother now, and they're my own. Like, they inherited everything I have. If something happened to them, I'm responsible for them. If I was negligent in them, I would be charged as a mother. Like, I would be charged with abusing them as their mother if something happened, I am their mother now. So, see how I'm already stirring up emotions, So, it just happens, I love the example that it says on here. There was this popular TV show, and there was a custody battle against the real parents and the other parents. Just that being said, it just kind of says that, like, adoptive parents aren't real, and like that really hurts people. But it also, on the other side, there's other language that can hurt the birth family as well. So let's dive into these terminologies for you, and we'll go from here. So some less accurate language would be real parent or natural parent. I know in court terms they say natural parents still, which, it's fine. But the more accurate language would be birth parent or biological parent. That would be more accurate. Or just parent, honestly. Like, we can just call everyone mom or everyone parent. I honestly don't mind if my children called their birth mom, or whatever. It doesn't bother me at all. Just, but them calling me like real mom or her real mom, that would make me feel sad and make her feel sad as well. So I don't think that's really accurate. Another less accurate language would be own child, real child, natural child. So those are, if somebody, gave birth to a child, those are things that wouldn't be as accurate. The real word would be your birth child. Another less accurate term would be adopted child or own child. the best way to say it is just my child. Like, and I love that because we don't have to explain anything. I remember when my kids were adopted, I was like finally able to say to someone like, how are you related to this child? I can say I'm their mother. Like, I don't have to say foster mother. I don't have to say anything else. Like, I am their mother. And that was like just such a relief for me and really for the child. We don't have to explain anything. We don't owe anyone an explanation. You know, like sometimes if it feels right and you feel like you could advocate for adoption through talking about something, I will explain our story, but I don't have to. I don't owe anyone that, for sure. The term here is adoptee. And I have used this term quite often. I think adoptee children that were adopted, they prefer that term as well. I don't think it's like super uncommon, but the correct, accurate language would be person, individual who was adopted. So, individual who was adopted. So I think that seems more accurate. That's one that I probably say the most is adoptee, just because there's just groups out there called the adoptees, you know, like, so, I mean, they label themselves as that, but the best way to say is person or individual who was adopted. This one is really yucky. It's the less accurate term is illegitimate, which is, you know, wow, right? How would you like to be called illegitimate? You know, and that is person that was born to unmarried parents. So if you had to explain that situation, you would say they were born to unmarried parents. So, which I think in our society today, that isn't as big of a thing to say anymore. People don't call their kids illegitimate. This one is really rough, actually. And less accurate term is to, like, as far as adoption goes, give away, adopt out, give up, put up. So all these terms is give away, adopt out, give up, put up. So the best term would be make an adoption plan, choose adoption. So like somebody that put their kid up for adoption, he said they made an adoption plan, they chose adoption for their child. That is more accurate. Actually, the term put up for adoption came from the orphan trains, from when they used to ship kids to the Midwest here. It's kind of like Anna Green Gables style. They shipped the kids to the Midwest and they would help on farms, but they would literally put them up on like the train caboose thing. They'd put them up there so that they could be adopted. So they put up for adoption came from that. And that is a little nasty, if you ask me. A little cringy, I don't know. So, a less accurate term would be to keep the baby. A more accurate term is to parent the baby or child. So, we don't just keep babies, we parent them. So, there's that. All right. Like, I hear that a lot when I first get a foster child. Even this last summer when we had a baby, I heard a lot of people like said, do you get to keep the baby? And I'm like, whew, you don't even know this story. You don't understand how hard this birth mom's working. You don't understand what that means. Like, we don't just keep babies. Like, babies are very important, and we have to, you know, parent them. We get to keep them, so to speak, but they're not like an object to be kept. Okay, so that is good to know. Children are not objects, right? A less accurate term would be adoptable child or unwanted child. Ugh. Who wants to be called unwanted? Nobody. A child in need of a home. So, or legally free to be adopted. That's something that we use a lot in adoption world. Less accurate term is adoptive parent. A more accurate term would be just a parent. So I am just a parent. Apparently, I'm just a parent. All right. A less accurate term would be handicapped child or hard to place child. A more accurate language would be a child who has special needs. And I made this mistake early on in life about children that are handicapped. You always refer to the person first, and then you refer to their disability. That is something that children with special needs parents like really prefer. So if the child has Down syndrome, you don't just say that's a Down syndrome child. No, you would just say it's a child, or you would say a child with a special need or a child with Down syndrome. So you just try to refer to that person before you refer to their special needs, because they're not their special needs. I know that's really a sensitive subject for people that have kids with special needs, so just to be aware of that out there before you make that mistake like I did. So helping you out, you're welcome. Because we want to be sensitive to these things, and if we have awareness of it, then we can be sensitive to it. A less accurate language would be is adopted, like my child is adopted. That would be not as accurate as my child was adopted. So they were adopted. They weren't currently adopted. They aren't currently being adopted over and over again. They were adopted only one time. So only one adoption. So it's like an event, like getting married. I was married. I got married, so to speak. Less accurate language would be giving your child away or choosing an adoption plan would be the better way to say it. Choosing an adoption plan. So when a birth mom decides to choose an adoption plan, we don't say she gave that child away. And goes back again, says putting your child up for adoption versus finding a family to parent your child. So again, we don't put our children up on a train boxcar and say they're up for adoption. We choose a family to adopt them. So we're civilized people. That's what we do. There is keeping your baby and parenting versus parenting the baby/child. Okay, this one also is new to me. It's very uncommon nowadays to have closed adoptions, even though if you adopt from foster care, they are technically considered closed. But now they like to use the word confidential adoption. And what that actually even means, a closed adoption or a confidential adoption, is if you adopt a child, like you don't have any contact with birth family at all. You know, like it's closed. Like that family can't reach out to you. You can't reach out to them. It's just like a closed adoption. I guess I'll take that back for the state. It's up to you at that point, basically, as an adoptive parent, is to allow whoever you want in their life. So they're like strangers to this child, and if you want them in their life, you have to choose that for yourself. And I think that would be more accurate. But that's interesting, as opposed to the next one, which is open adoption. And then there's like a semi-open adoption. So I feel like this is pretty common now, is for there to be, these guys are saying it's like semi-open adoption or fully disclosed adoption. So we are allowed to communicate with those parents by choice, the birth parents by choice, because we want our child to be healthy and to have a relationship with these people. So that is your choice. And the last one I have for you is unwanted problem pregnancy. That seems kind of yucky as well, because pregnancy isn't necessarily a problem, you know what I mean? Like there's always a solution for it, but it's unintended pregnancy is the word they like to use now for those things. And so if we just kind of start using these terms and all these things, like it'll help us to be better at talking to people and processing with them. Like I said in the beginning, when people would say stuff to me, like I would just be like, oh man, but now I just have grace for these people. The biggest one, honestly, I might do a whole video on it eventually, is when people like praise me for adoption. That one like really grates on me a lot. Honestly, like I'm called to adopt children. That's like who I'm called to be. If I didn't do it, like I would be outside of what I'm called to do, and that would be awful. And we just have grace for people when they say that to us, but we try to redirect them whenever we can. So when someone says, oh, you guys are just so awesome for adopting all these children, I'll try to honestly if it's appropriate, with as much grace and tact as I can, because I might be the only example in their life of someone who has adopted. I'll try to be like, well, this is my calling, like I had to. And my favorite one is like when they said, oh, your children are so blessed to be with you, and I'd be like, oh no, you have no idea, I'm so blessed to be with them, because it's true. So they made me a mom. So that's something that I like to say to those people. I know that as soon as you get into foster parenting and all these things, you'll get these words thrown at you, and it just doesn't feel true because it's not true. You're not anything special, honestly, because to adopt a child doesn't make you special. It just means you're called to do it, and that's what you're supposed to do, you know? Like, I don't know. That's just my little soapbox for you guys. So I will actually take all these that I just said and I'll put them in the comments, or the little comments below here, so that you guys can read them and you guys can comment on them. And if you guys have any more to add to this list, please put them below, and I would love to start a little forum down there just talking about things that people have said to you that were, you know, just a little cringy. So anyways, also I'm gonna create waves here. If you made it to the end of this video, one of the worst ones for me is Orphan Sunday. Oh, I don't like that word. Anyways, that was one that would really bother me. I don't know why, it just does. It just cringes me. It's not gonna go away anytime soon, so I'll just ignore it for now. But anyways, so like I said in the last video, we're gonna have adoption awareness videos coming up every Tuesday, every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So you don't want to miss out for the whole of November. Hit that subscribe button, keep coming back. We're gonna be learning, we're gonna be digging into some deep stuff, having some interviews, hopefully some interview with some people that were adopted, and also with birth parents. I'm hoping and praying this will happen. So we're gonna learn together as a whole entire crew here on YouTube. So hit the subscribe button, and I hope you guys are having the best day ever, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.